What's going on, everybody? James here, redoptionagency.com. And that's weird. So I wanted to start on my feedback page because I'm like, you know what? I am on my way. I am less than 1,000 away from 100,000 feedback. But why is that reading 97? When here it's 99,004. All right, there we go. I refreshed too, didn't I? So almost to 100,000 feedback. Pretty cool. Of course, within the past probably 10 years at least, you only get about a third of your sales will leave feedback. So this number, of course, should be a lot higher for everybody, but I think they should implement that if somebody doesn't leave feedback after 90 days, that you just automatically get a plus, because apparently they're happy with it, and there was no issues. If it was a clean transaction all the way through, you should get a positive plus. Just because you're losing a lot of your work. I mean, they put a lot. They have. I don't think they put a lot of emphasis on feedback nowadays as much as they did, but I don't know, it's just something I think should be done. I also think that anybody with a certain amount of feedback or time on the site should get a little bit better treatment when it comes to seller and buyer relationships. And because the one thing is that a buyer who starts today just has just as much leverage when it comes to like trying to scam somebody, as opposed to somebody who's been selling for 20 years and has to fight it. There's no one up for the seller who's been doing it forever, if that makes sense. If you're a seller, I think you know what I mean there. So I wish it was a little bit more fair, I guess you could say, for people who do this for a living, pretty much, who's been on the site, sold X amount for X amount of time, and what have you. But that is what it is. But I do like the fact that if you do free returns, you can get your negatives taken off. And I made a statement the other day about how it appears when I get negatives, my sales increase. And it's always, I didn't know if it's a quinky dink or if it's something to it. So in the evening yesterday, I noticed my sales took a spike up, and they had lulled again, like after about 5 or so. So at about 8 or whatever, I started getting all these pops and sales. I'm like, oh, this is cool. eBay's turned back on, right? I just happened to stumble into my feedback, and I got a negative feedback. And I'm like, that's weird. So I'm like, well, crap, I'm going to take advantage of this. So I listed a few hats that I figured would sell quick and, try to make some quick money before night, hoping that algorithm overnight would turn into more overnight sales. That part didn't happen, but I ended up calling eBay and getting the feedback removed. So that's the beauty about free returns, is they'll just remove your feedback. If you're offering free returns, you let the buyer know that, hey, sorry, you can send it back for free. So I anticipate this will get a whole lot higher. I've always sat at 99.7 pretty much for the 20 years I've been on eBay. But I just recently found out about that. So that's why I have so many that are over 6 months that normally would have been able to have been deleted, but I not knowingly let them sit. So after 90 days, they can't do anything. This one has a return open, but they've never sent it back. So it should be closing any time now. I need to check that. And once it closes, that drops off. Because they opened it but never sent the hat back. So, and speaking on that, so last night I went on a little listing frenzy and just was getting some late night stuff up. with a few items. I was hoping to make a quick like $40 overnight just on those 4 items. I think 2 of them sold, 2 of them are still sitting. But then my sales again overnight just kind of vanished. Between like 12 and 9, I sold like 4 items. So I don't know. I kind of got a suspicion that during the overnight hours they may reboot the site because of all the errors. They kind of do a refresh. I don't know if that's true. It's just speculation. Because when an overnight's pretty smooth, I have a pretty consistent sales overnight. But then when there's windows of like, 6, 7, 8 hours of pretty much nothing, I feel like something is going on where the site is physically down, or people can't check out. Because the weird thing I notice about that time period, 9 hours, 4 sales, but yet I had a record-breaking watchers added. Normally overnight I have anywhere from 50 to 70 watchers added, and then I send them offers in the morning. Where this morning I think I had 95. And so I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot extra. So I always notice that too. And then during those times, I notice sometimes my email box will fill up faster with questions. So it's like I know the traffic's there, but the sell-through for some reason's not clicking. And is that because they can't check out because eBay's still having checkout issues? Because that went on for a long time, at least with PayPal. So I don't know, but speculation. So use guesstimates. So here's the one. So maybe 3 sold. So I put up this one. Another one of the camouflage like it. A farms one. And maybe we'll see it in sold maybe. Alright. And I think I had like 20 auctions in yesterday. One of them did sell and had actually 5 bids on it. So, and I had my hat. I had put a vintage hat up. I had mentioned a few videos ago for I had my highest offer on it was $70 while it was up for auction. It ended up selling, so we'll get into that. Also, so let's start with, I don't know what's open here. Okay, so this is stuff I listed. Let's go in and see what sold. Something kind of in that area. This just sold. So that's good. I needed that. I gotta do the old librarian lady look.
Now, Sonny, you can't be making all that noise up here in the library.
So that just sold. That's good. I needed that pop, especially from the overnight being so dead. So these all bunched up here were offers. So I had like 4 or 5 offers come through, which was kind of low also. There was like, during that 8 or 9 hour, no offers came through either. So that's totally off the wall on. So my guess is the site was down or being rebooted or what have you. I think that may show when we get to my placement. I refreshed it and just saw the first one, and I think I was the first one. So that was a positive. So we'll get into that. So they may have kickstarted the site overnight. Kickstart my heart. Ooh, yeah. So here's the one of them. This is my 3rd one I had. So I knew it would sell quick, so I put it up overnight along with the others. And another one of those Nike vintage hats that I marked way down. Finally sold. I can't believe those are taking so long to sell. That's just shocking to me, honestly. Because I will sell those at $40-$50. Maybe the market's just dropped out of them. That's possible. Billabong. Pooh Man getting his freak on. Hi. Cardinal Raleigh. Here's another one of the hats. And I knew I could get more out of them, like I said, but I used them for quick sales, hoping to stimulate something overnight, which kind of backfired, but that's all right. I know there was a third one. What was the third one? Or the fourth one, I should say. Huh. Maybe I stayed up till like 10 listing a little bit. I was like sitting here half asleep, so it could have been only 3. I was like dead tired. Yesterday I was having some mental struggle, man. I was just depressed. It was for no reasons. I hate when that happens. I know I don't try to claim I have like a mental depression issue, because I know there's a lot of people out there who fight depression, and society and life, the way society is, makes it, harder on people who are just trying to survive. So I don't try to put myself in that position or that category. But ever since I went through a lot of tragic stuff at one time, I will just have these days where, for no reason, I just cannot fight my way out of this depressed state. And I've got a list of things I do when I get to that day. So I'm always trying to. The way my mind works is I always try to figure things out. You can probably see by watching these videos. So the same is true in just everyday life. So when I have those days, I have a list of things I try to do. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, of just different things that I will do to try to change my mindset. And this may work for people who actually are, really depressed on a consistent basis or something. I never really read into it or anything. But, so one of them is like rearrange things, change things around, clean things up, clean off your desk, clean up the room that you spend the most time in, change something up, move furniture around, change the atmosphere, if you will. I believe there's a whole thing to an atmosphere and an energy in a room, and it can be brought down by clutter or lighting. Like, I despise fluorescent light bulbs. I just despise them. We had them in my house growing up as a kid, and there was just something about the light that it gave off was just very downing. And so I've always despised like fluorescent light bulbs. And just little things like that. Obviously, get out and get some fresh air, do some exercising. So I got on my bike last night and rode around the lake at the park, and different things just to try to break them in the cycle in the head. Nothing seemed to work for me yesterday. I feel a little bit better today. Not 100%, but I feel maybe if I talked about it, that would get that last little bit. I'd get over that edge. So thanks you for being my counselor this morning. I totally appreciate it. The check is in the mail. You've helped me a lot, and I would like to say thank you. So here's the one lot that did actually sell. I got it for $23.50. What made it go to this? Let's see, because soundtracks is probably what made it go to this. It's a majority of soundtrack. Actually, it's all soundtracks. And I try to, when I make my lots up, do that, but right now I don't have the room in here to really concentrate on separating genres too much. And I know that makes things better. So, a couple of Dairy Queen pens finally. Probably don't have too many of those left. I found out like 100 or 200 of those things over at the bins. Same with these shirts. I've got so many of these vintage You Owe Me shirts. I think they were made local a couple of hours away from here in the 90s. And I guess there was a period of about a month where they were just showing up at the outlet. So I was grabbing all of them I found, because I knew they'd be slow, consistent sales. I love this. Look at that That nasty hat. Love it. Sold that finally. Vineyard Vines. A shiny lighting bulb. Sequined lighting bulb. Just the common stuff. Gotta love it. Gotta love common money. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, where are we at? What are we looking at? Let's see. So we're not doing too well. Well, that Donkey Kong piece helped out. So we're at 10:15 a.m. I slept in a little today. I haven't done nothing yet. So we're at 170. That's another thing on my list. Get a little extra sleep when you're having one of those bad days. So 170. And I did climb up over the $1,000 mark yesterday. A little easier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think we were going to make it. I don't know if my big auction item was paid for yet. So I don't know if that's included in here. We dropped back down under the 8. I guess there was a big day that dropped off here while this one's starting. So it might be a struggle to get up there today. So we will try to do that. I'll try to get into a mode and get some stuff listed. Let's see the performance and tracking. Let's go. Let me look, see where the placement was real quick. So yeah, I refreshed and one of my new listings was right on top and it's sponsored. This hat's been here for, I should just buy this hat to get rid of it because I'm tired of seeing it up there. So next two after that are mine. Another one of mine. So that's good. 3 more of mine. This is what I'm normally used to seeing. Here's another one. So maybe there's something to the overnight shutdown or whatever it was. On the real good days, I have like 20 hats on this top page. But now they've kind of vanished. But I ain't complaining. At least the ones I do have are high. James just in that hat. Let's see what else pops up there. Here's one of mine. One of my new ones. Are all those up here new that I put up yesterday? That one is. That one's not. That one's not. That one's not. Okay, so no. Alright, so only 8 items. And we are past the 10 o'clock mark. So we're even worse than we were yesterday. Or, well, I don't know because I did it at 12 yesterday and I had 22. It looks like we're headed worse than yesterday. 5 promoted, 3 organic. I got a feeling it's going to build. We will see. So yesterday, 1.8 million impressions. All right, only 68 sold. Mondays are always a little bit slower. The right percentage, the normal percentage, the average percentage on the sold, promoted versus organic, 70-30. So when I see like normals like that, it's more down to me, it comes down to more the items I have up. That's when I start going, okay, I haven't listed really a lot of items like I normally do every day just because that item specific issue, which is another thing when I called in eBay yesterday. She removed my feedback, so I told her, it's been going on for a couple weeks. I called in a week ago. She said she saw where there was a note on when I called in a week ago, but they didn't put in a ticket to report the problem. I'm like, so she put it in and gave me the number and said if I don't notice anything, call her back in 5 days and give her the number. And they will track her down as long as it's not Friday or Saturday, because she don't work those days. So hopefully that will get fixed soon, so I can get back to power listing. So all the numbers up except quantity sold. I know what. You know what? Let's look at some positive feedback. That might help my day. A+. Arrived fast. I like it when they're funny. Took longer than I thought it would have, but that seems to be the mail. Well, thank you for understanding that. You're international. So, yeah. You know, the good thing is I really haven't noticed since I stopped selling on the using Web Interpret. The money I'm transferring really hasn't dropped like I thought it was going to. I mean, I'm down this month, but I think a lot of that's the Vero issue, because I missed, 4 days, and then there was a couple of days of recoup. So, yeah, nothing. Just your normal stuff. So, all right. That's all. We're going to work and try to get this number up here today. Put in some effort. Put in some effort today, James. Gotta work to make the money. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. I think I've done everything I wanted to see. It's just up to me now. Get these 200 drafts, which is not updated. There we go. 187 drafts listed, and then some. All right, get to work. Go list some product. Make some money. Make me proud. All right. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that jive. And I appreciate my videos getting over 100 views pretty quickly now. So I totally appreciate that. So thank you guys much. Here's me, Infinity, and I'll see you in the next video.